Hi, I'm Patrick, and today we're going to be building the bar stool that I'm sitting on. What you're going to need are two pieces that are 1.5 inches thick, 7 inches wide, and 14 inches long. Then you're going to need four pieces that are 3/4 inches thick, 2 inches wide, and 9 3/4 inches long. You need four pieces that are 1.5 inches wide, 3/4 inches thick, and 9 3/4 inches long. And then you're going to need four pieces that are 1.5 inches square by 31 inches long. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is glue up the top. You're going to take the two 7 by 14 inch pieces, square up one face on each of them, and glue them together. Once you have the top in clamped, what you're going to want to do is take a wet paper towel and wipe off any glue squeeze out. This will make it way easier when you have to sand it flush. After your top is in clamps, you're going to want to take your four pieces that are 2 inches by 9 3/4 inches long and drill out the uglier side with pocket holes. Don't worry about the placement of these pocket holes too much because they will not be seen on the project. Once you have it drilled out like this, repeat it 3 more times for the other 3 pieces. After you've drilled out your 2-inch wide pieces with pocket holes, you're going to want to get your 1.5-inch wide pieces. Each one of these only gets one pocket hole. It's very important that you're very conscious of having the pocket hole be in the center because these parts will be visible. You want it to be just like that. Okay, now that you have pocket holes drilled and everything, it's time to start assembling the legs. What you're going to need is one 2-inch piece, one 1.5-inch piece, 2 legs, and 2 spacers so that you get this nice shadow line. Once you've applied glue to the end grain faces of the 2-inch wide by 9 3/4 inch piece, spread it around and try to push it into the grain a little bit. After that, put it on top of your spacers, line up the tops of the legs with the top of the 2-inch piece, and clamp it in place. Once clamped in place, all you gotta do is pop in your screws. The next thing you're going to want to do is measure up 11 inches from the top of each leg, from the bottom, I'm sorry. Then you're going to want to take your 1.5-inch piece and do the same thing, smear the glue into the end grain. Then you're going to want to take your clamp, line up the top of this piece with those lines, and again, clamp it in place. Once clamped in place, just pop in those last 2 screws. After you finish assembling 2 of these, clean up any glue squeeze out before you continue. Once you have 2 front and back pieces assembled, you're going to want to take them, put them on their side, and repeat the process with the other 4 pieces that remain. The next thing you're going to want to do is sand your blank. After you've sanded the blank, you're going to want to trim it down to size. First, you want to make 2 square edges. Once you have 2 square edges, you're going to want to trim it down to 13¼ inches. Once you have the blank cut to size, all you gotta do is round over each corner a little bit with a hand plane. Once you've done a little rounding over with the hand plane, all you need is to sand over those edges to make them a full round over. The next thing you're going to want to do is drill some pocket holes on each side, just one on each side to hold the seat down. The thing you're going to want to do is have your seat upside down on the ground, take your stool and flip it over. Align it so every side is equal distant. There should be about a 1/4 inch gap on every side. Finally, in the holes that you drilled just a second ago, pop in pocket hole screws. You're going to want to install your leveling feet now. My leveling feet asks that you drill 11/32 inch hole in the middle of your feet. I forgot to mark these up, so I'm quickly going to do that. My recommendations go about 1/2 inch deeper than the thing suggests. The last thing the developer tells you what to do is tap these in to place. And thread on one of the feet. The thing you're going to want to do is take a dowel that's the same diameter of your pocket hole drill bit, cut them into 2-inch pieces, and glue them into all the pocket holes that are visible. After they're all glued in, all you got to do is cut them off with a flush trim bit. If you wanted to build a stool with no back, you're done here. All you got to do is add some finish. But if you want to add the back, tune in for next video to see how it turns out. Hi, I'm Patrick, and today we're going to be building the bar stool that I'm sitting on. What you're going to need are two pieces that are 1.5 inches thick, 7 inches wide, and 14 inches long. Then you're going to need 4 pieces that are 3/4 inches thick, 2 inches wide, and 9 3/4 inches long. You need 4 pieces that are 1.5 inches wide, 3/4 inches thick, and 9 3/4 inches long. And then you're going to need 4 pieces that are 1.5 inches square by 31 inches long. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is glue up the top. You're going to take the two 7 by 14 inch pieces, square up one face on each of them, and glue them together. Once you have the top in clamped, what you're going to want to do is take a wet paper towel and wipe